When I started training, all I wanted was a set of jacked arms just like Arnold. Thing is, you can't just train arms. You need to train your back for your long-term health. You need to train your legs so that you're burning calories and you're creating the hormonal environment for general muscle growth. And you need to train your core because everyone needs to train core. And by the time you get through this whole list of other exercises that just have to come before arms, suddenly there's no time to actually train your arms. The good news is this: you don't actually need to spend a full day of training to grow big arms, and you can train biceps and triceps a lot more frequently than you may think for a variety of reasons. It all means that short doses of smart moves can help you make serious arm gains. The reason you can train your arms more often is simple. You don't really need to train them super heavy. When we're training arms, we need to focus on something called mind-muscle connection. Maxing out on biceps curls doesn't get you anywhere, and it's not going to grow your arms, especially because very often you wind up using the wrong muscle groups to drive the motion. What you need to do when you train arms is focus on feeling the muscle working on every single rep, and that works best with moderate weights. Because we're not training super heavy, our entire body winds up less fatigued, and we also need less recovery time between arm workouts. And that means we can spend as few as 5 minutes pushing our arms to their limits, and then we can tack that 5-minute workout onto the back of a more taxing workout. Here's what we have to do to get this done in 5 minutes. First, we're going to utilize shorter rest periods. If you're training a larger muscle group, like chest or legs, you definitely need 90 to 120 seconds between each set so you can go heavy again. But for arms, since we're pushing and focusing more on volume, we can get around that and pump chase a bit, working through biceps, triceps, supersets. We'll also need complementary moves that lend themselves to supersets. The moves we're pairing today flow very easily into each other and will most likely use the same weight. Simplifying that weight choosing process keeps things moving fast and minimizes the rest between each phase of the superset. We also want to train our forearms when we train arms, and one of the best ways to do that is to grip with intent and experience the tension that comes with grip for a sustained period of time. We can build all of this into one workout that effectively trains biceps, triceps, and forearms in exactly 5 minutes. And if you want a little bit more, you can always rest for 2 minutes and repeat the entire process. Let's get into it. So all we're gonna need to get this biceps and triceps workout done is an incline bench. 60 or 75 degrees is where most benches are gonna be. And then we need a set of medium weight dumbbells, something that you can comfortably curl for 10 to 12 reps. We're gonna be piling up a lot of volume in this 5 minutes. So you want something you can control that's gonna challenge you, but you know you'll be in control of. And then what we're gonna do, we're just gonna set a timer. And for the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds, all I'm gonna do is I'm going to do incline curls as my first move, and then I'm gonna do incline overhead extensions as my second move. And what I'm trying to do to start is I'm trying to get 10 to 12 reps here of incline curls, making sure that I keep my upper arms behind my torso. That's why we're on the incline bench. And what this is doing too is it's also hitting the stretch position of the biceps. My biceps have to work through a very full range of motion, and they get a really good stretch at the bottom of every single rep. Once I get to 10 to 12 reps, I'm going to shift upwards on my incline bench. Think about keeping my abs tight, and now I'm going into an incline tricep extension. So trying to get a little bit of length and work my triceps again through a very full range of motion. I'm thinking about letting my elbows almost get behind my head, and then pressing up. And again, I'm gonna do 10 to 12 reps here. Clock is ticking down on me as I'm doing this. I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing these two moves back to back for the entire 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Once I'm done 10 to 12 reps there, I go right back into that biceps curl. And this time, I'm again pushing for 10 to 12 reps. If I fall a little short, that's okay. When I get to however many reps I can do, I'll again switch into my triceps extension. And I'm gonna aim to do the exact same amount of reps, at least, that I did on my biceps curl. So let's say I got 8 there. Then my clock is ticking down, obviously. We go right back to that incline curl. And we alternate those two moves for the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Already got a pump just from working through that. So after that first 2 minutes and 20 seconds is over, we've got 10 seconds to bring our bench down to a flat angle, and then we're gonna pair 2 other moves together. We're gonna lead off with the triceps exercise this time, and that is a dumbbell skull crusher. So working to keep my elbows at a fixed angle, and then trying to extend and really straighten all the way, getting a good squeeze on my triceps. I'm aiming, and you want to aim for around 10 to 12 reps of skull crushers. Then we're going to do the same thing, just like we did in our first series. All we're going to do is we're going to switch positions. I'm going to go right into a seated dumbbell biceps curl, and again, trying to work that for 10 to 12 reps. And I'm gonna alternate between these 2 moves for the final 2 minutes and 30 seconds of this workout. Hopefully, in the ideal world, what you want to think about doing is hitting at least 3 rounds of this in that 220, but it's less about how many rounds you get and more about just continuing to move and pile up really good squeezes for our triceps on the skull crushers and for our biceps on the curl. Don't be surprised as you go through this too if you fatigue a lot more quickly. So by the end, you may only be getting 4 to 5 reps of skull crushers into 4 to 5 reps of biceps curls. The great thing about this is, in addition to all that good direct work that my biceps and triceps get throughout this final 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and really throughout the entire 5-minute workout, my forearms never get to rest. Remember what we talked about at the beginning, grip tension is one of the best ways to really build your forearms, challenge your forearms, and feel that. So our forearms get 5 continuous minutes of work in addition to all the reps we're piling up for biceps and triceps. So that winds up being 4 moves over 5 minutes, and it's enough to really fry your arms. I'm already feeling it. So that winds up being 4 moves, and that's all you need to torch your arms in 5 minutes. And the great thing about this workout is how frequently you can do it. You can do this as often as 3 or 4 times a week. I would think about putting it at the end of any of your upper body workouts, or if you break things down into push-pull legs, think about doing it at the end of a pull workout, and you can also do it at the end of a push workout. We're already touching arms during those upper body sessions, so we might as well finish them off at the end of the workout. It winds up being a solid amount of volume that's going to leave you with a pump, and your arms will be feeling it, and it leaves you, this is the most important thing, with no excuse not to train arms.